In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be celebrating Read Across America in conjunction with Dr. Seuss's birthday. This presentation was put together by Karen DeFrank, and the audio is provided by me, Mrs. Morrow. So we are going to talk in depth today about Dr. Seuss. What would we do without him? Now, is this Dr. Seuss? No, that's not actually Dr. Seuss. That's the Cat in the Hat. That's one of his characters. That's one of his most famous characters, isn't it? One of the most famous authors of all times is, yes, Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss was born on March 2nd in 1904. He died in 1991 when he was 87 years old. If he was still living, he would have over 100 candles on his cake every year. Dr. Seuss's real name was Theodore Seuss Geisel. Can everybody say that with me? Theodore Seuss Geisel. His friends called him Ted or Mr. Geisel. Seuss was actually his middle name. And the doctor part? Well, he just made that up. When Ted went to college, he drew cartoons for the school newspaper. He was the class clown, a practical joker, and he was actually voted the least likely to succeed in his whole class. Well, after college and travel, Ted Geisel went into the advertising business in New York City. He drew advertisements for magazines. Life was tough until he got a job to make ads for Flit, a company that made bug spray. If you look at that bug, that looks just like a Dr. Seuss bug, doesn't it? You know why? It is a Dr. Seuss bug. Dr. Seuss thought of his first idea for a children's book in 1936 while on a vacation cruise. The rhythm of the ship's engine helped him think of the rhyme and rhythm for his first book. Do you know what that first book was? The first book that Dr. Seuss wrote was called And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Kind of got an oceany engine rhythm, doesn't it? Say it with me. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. All of Dr. Seuss's books have rhythms with their rhymes. 43 different book companies rejected this book. Nobody would print it. Nobody would make it into a book for him. Finally, one of Dr. Seuss's friends, who was a book publisher, decided to make it into his book for his friend, Theodore Seuss Geisel, sorry. The next books he wrote were The 500 Hats of Bartholomew Cubbins. That was my favorite book in the whole wide world when I was your age, right here. The King's Stilts, and Bartholomew and the Oobleck. One day Dr. Seuss was sitting in his office with the windows open. A breeze lifted a piece of paper with an elephant sketched on it and laid it down on another drawing of a tree. All I had to do was figure out what that elephant was doing in that tree, he said. And that story became Horton Hatches the Egg. If you haven't read it, it's about Horton, the elephant who climbs up in a tree and sits on a nest. In 1941, though, Dr. Seuss took a break from writing books. He cared about politics and during World War II drew many cartoons for a magazine. He also joined the United States Army and helped to make movies for the soldiers. After the war, though, Dr. Seuss kept writing. He wrote McElligot's Pool and Thidwick the Big-Hearted Moose and one of our favorites, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. In 1950, a man named John Hersey studied how children learned to read. He wrote a report about what he had learned. It said that children were having a hard time learning to read because their books were boring and they didn't want to read them. Well, Dick and Jane, see Spot run. See Dick and Jane, see Dick and Jane run. See Spot laugh, see Dick and Jane laugh. The use is the same words, but they're boring. It's the same thing over and over and over. Friends read Mr. Hersey's report. He called Mr. Geisel and told him that he should write a funny book with only a few easy words in it for kids who were learning to read. It took Dr. Seuss 9 months and he used only 220 easy words. Everybody loved it. Anybody know what that book was? It's really famous. It's a rhyming book, The Cat in the Hat. A few years later, a friend gave him another challenge. Could Dr. Seuss write a book with only 50 different words in it? He could reuse the words as many times as he wanted to, but only 50 different words. So Dr. Seuss wrote another very popular book. Dr. Seuss said, "It was the only book that I wrote that still makes me laugh." And that one is Green Eggs and Ham. In one survey, kids said that this was one of their favorite books. It has sold more copies than any other title. Over 6 million. Dr. Seuss also wrote this famous book. He was inspired by the zoo that was near his house when he was a boy. He spent lots of time there with his father, and he loved to listen to the songs and the roars of the animals at night. Dr. Seuss is different from many writers because most of his books are written in rhyme. To make up his rhymes, he would often make up new words, like the sneetches, the lorax, and the zizzer zazzer zuzz. Dr. Seuss's books are fun to read, but they also teach kids about life, too. Dr. Seuss helps us care about others. Like in Horton Hears a Who, a person's a person no matter how small. Teaches us to respect other people. Big people, little people, older people, younger people. Dr. Seuss teaches us to care for ourselves, like in Happy Birthday to You. Come on, open your mouth and sound off at the sky. Shout loud at the top of your voice. I am I. Me. I am I. And I may not know why, but I know that I like it. 3 cheers. Dr. Seuss teaches us to be true to ourselves. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. That's from Oh, the Places You'll Go. Dr. Seuss can teach us to be fair and treat people equally. I know up on top you are seeing great sights, but down at the bottom we, too, have rights. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free, as turtles and maybe all creatures should be. From Yertle the Turtle. Dr. Seuss wrote the Sneetches to address how different groups of people didn't like each other during World War II. Did you know that Dr. Seuss wrote a World War book? I didn't. I'm quite happy to say that the Sneetches got really smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. Isn't that kind of telling us that nobody's better than anybody else? We all shouldn't fight about it? Dr. Seuss books can teach us about diversity or about differences and how they can be good. We see them come, we see them go. Some are fast and some are slow. Not one of them is like another. Don't ask why, go ask your mother. Dr. Seuss wrote books with messages about getting along. The Butter Battle Book. And pollution, taking care of our earth, the Lorax. Dr. Seuss books teach us about how to help the world. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends can come back. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. This book was made from a movie Dr. Seuss wrote. He loved Hollywood and filmmaking. Many of his books were turned into made-for-TV specials. Can you name any? Yes, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Butter Battle book. Yes, yes. Altogether, Dr. Seuss wrote 44 different books. They've been published in 20 different languages like French, German, Italian, Swedish, Swahili, Chinese, Japanese, and Russian. More than 100 million copies have been sold all over the world. Dr. Seuss was still writing books when he died on September 24, 1991, at the age of 87. His last book, Daisy Head Maisie, came out 4 years later. In 1997, schools all over the United States chose March 2nd, Dr. Seuss's birthday, as a day to celebrate reading. We want people to know that reading is important and lots of fun. Now, at schools around the country, we celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. That was said by Dr. Seuss. How many Dr. Seuss books have you read?